What is going on, everybody? It's Buddy here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to recharge your car, truck, or SUV's AC cooling system. This is going to be applicable for all vehicles. This is going to cover every little thing you guys need to know. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now I know this may seem a little intimidating with all these pumps, vacuums, gauges, cans, and all that. I promise you, after this video, if you watch the whole thing, you're going to definitely be competent enough to do it yourself. And you might be thinking, hey buddy, shouldn't I just go to a shop to do this? This looks like some pretty expensive equipment. Well, I actually called a few shops, and the price at refilling your AC system starts at $90, and then they charge you $30 a pound of Freon. Now, one of those cans is 12 ounces, so it's only 4 ounces off from a pound, and they charge you $30. Those cans are only $6. So you're going to actually pay more to go to a shop to do this exact same job, and you're going to have the tools to do it over and over again. You can always help out your parents, your buddy, whatever the case. So let's jump right into this video. So this is everything you're going to need to complete this job properly. The first thing is a manifold gauge set. This is going to tell you the pressure on the low side and the high side of your AC. I'll explain all that later. Now moving down here, we're going to have our vacuum pump. The vacuum pump is super important for this job. What it does, it actually pulls all the moisture out of your AC system. That way you don't have to worry about any further leaks. It's definitely important to pull all the moisture out because it will cause leaks. If you're not doing this step, you're not doing it right. Now moving over here, this is optional. This is just universal AC dye. I have a whole video of how to use AC dye if you do have a leak. That will be in the description. Now moving up, we do have our refrigerant. 134A is what we're going to be using. That is super common with pretty much any car. Now moving over, we do have our refrigerant oil. Definitely just go to Advanced or AutoZone or whatever and check out which refrigerant oil. They will let you know which one you need to use for your car. Anytime you fill up your car after a leak or after you replace a part, you will need to put refrigerant oil in there. And the last thing here is just the tap. This is going to be able to let your refrigerant come out of your can and go into your gauges here. I will put a link to the vacuum, the gauges, the AC dye, and the tap all in the description on Amazon so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And like I said, all this equipment is going to cost cheaper than them actually doing the job here for you at a shop. And the best part about doing it yourself, you're not going to try and sell yourself any crap you don't need here for your car after they refill your AC system at a shop. So that's definitely a big plus. So the first thing we're going to do is hook up our manifold gauges to our AC system in the car. Now what you're going to want to do is make sure that both of them are closed off all the way. So closed and closed. And we're going to start by hooking up our low side, which is our blue. So we're going to take our low side here and we're going to find the valve that it goes to. Now this one is smaller. You can see the high side here does have a wider hole. So the low side, you're always going to look for the low side. How you can tell the low side, this is going to be your low side here. It's going to be the thicker tube. And then your high side's always going to be the smaller. Or what the low side will be on is something called an accumulator. So this big cylinder looking thing, you can find the valve. It's going to be right here. And don't worry about messing it up. This low side actually won't fit on this high side valve, and vice versa. The high side won't fit on the low side valve. So you can't mess this up. Now also make sure these are in the closed position because they won't fit on your valves if they're not. So we're going to make sure it's nice and open. And then we're going to stick it on the low side Schrader valve. Then we're going to come around, and the red line here is our high side. And here's our high side here. And again, we're going to make sure this is in the closed position. We're going to bring it along here to the high side. We're going to undo this little cap. And again, high side is the skinnier tube. Low side is always the thicker tube. We're going to hook it up. And then always give it a quick wiggle just to make sure it's nice and locked in. And now you're going to open up your low side and your high side. But before we do that, double check your manifold gauges and make sure they are in the closed position. Because if there is pressure in your system, it's going to shoot out through your manifold gauges. So we're going to open these up. And the low pressure side too. Now coming back up to our manifold gauge, you can see it does say 0 and 0. At this point, it is reading the pressure. Even though these are closed, it's still reading the pressure of what's coming through these tubes. I just replaced the evaporator, so there is going to be no pressure. If you do have pressure in your system, always be sure to go to a garage or a shop and have them suck out all the Freon. Don't let this stuff out in the air. It is illegal, and also it's just not good for the environment. Now at this point, it's time to hook up our vacuum. So we're going to take this off, and we're going to put it down here. We're going to take this yellow line, and we're going to hook it up to our vacuum. Now there are gaskets in these. You don't need to crank this down. Hand tight is good enough, and that's why they are textured like this, so you can get a nice firm grip on them. I just got my pump plugged in. These gauges are set in the closed position. These two valves are set in the open position. And ready to pull a vacuum on the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We're going to click the vacuum on. And now that the vacuum pump is working, we're going to go to our gauges here. And we're going to open up the low side. You can see it did pull a vacuum in there. And we're going to open up our high side. So now what we're going to do is wait a little bit until this reaches about 30. Now it does say in the service manual here the vacuum pump will build for approximately 2 minutes before reaching full power. So we definitely want to give it at least 2 minutes before we close off these gauges. So looking at the low pressure gauge, which is the blue, we're going to be looking here. It looks like we're about 30 inches of mercury or 30 inches of vacuum pressure. And that's right where we want to be. So we're going to come down here. And we're going to hit this button. And then we're going to come back up here. And then we're going to close off the system. The system is under a vacuum right now. So what we're going to do next is to pressure test the system. Make sure you don't have any leaks. It is at 30. You want to leave it for about 20, 30 minutes, or you can even go up to a few hours. Leave it just like this. When you come back, it should sit right there at 30. And also, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and definitely consider subscribing if you're finding the video helpful. So what we're going to do now, after we've waited an hour, we're going to open these back up. We're going to come back down here to our vacuum, and we're going to turn it back on. And then if you check the owner's manual here of your vacuum, it will say something like this: allow the pump to draw a vacuum on the system for approximately 10 minutes to thoroughly remove all the moisture and any gas from the system. Now that is the minimum. That's what they do at like shops or something if you were to take your car to a shop. But since we're doing it and we're not pressed for time here, I'm going to let this vacuum run for about 30 minutes just to make sure all of the moisture gets out of the system. Alright, so we've been pulling a vacuum for about 30 minutes. It's time to close up our gauges. We're going to come down here to our vacuum and shut it off. Now at this point we can go ahead and unhook our vacuum. And the next step is to fill her up with Freon. Now you're going to have labels either right here on your car, right here on your hood. In my case, the labels for my AC is back here. So let's zoom on in. R134A refrigerant, 1 pound and 12 ounces. Alright, so with 1 pound, 12 ounces, there's 16 ounces in a pound, so that's 16 plus 12 ounces, that's 28. So coming down here, each can is 12 ounces. So that means we're going to put 2 cans in there, which is going to make 24. And then we're just going to take 4 ounces out of this last one. And that'll put us at 28 exactly. Now how we're going to make sure we only get 12 ounces out of that last can is with the scale. And we'll get to that in a few seconds. So we're going to grab this, put it away. We're going to take our manifold gauge here, put it back up here. And at this point, we're going to get our yellow line. And we're going to put some oil in it. Now, cool trick, if you slowly undo your manifold gauge, you can hear the vacuum pressure. And if you pour this in, it'll suck it right into the system. Now that we poured this whole bottle of refrigerant oil in there, it is time to hook up our Freon. And make sure this is nice and tight. Perfect. Now I also want to note this is a good time to put your AC dye in the system. Even if you know you don't have any leaks and you're not trying to find any, it is good practice. That way if you do have a leak in the future, you'll be able to use this. And I already know there's AC dye here in the system. When I did my other video, I'll put a link in the description. I did show you guys how to use AC dye to find a leak. So I'm not going to be adding any more of this. Now another important thing to note, you want to make sure that your low side is open all the way, and your high side is closed all the way. We did not tap into our Freon can yet. We got one more step before we do that. So we're going to take a little baseline test to see what she's at. So we're going to turn the AC on max AC. We're going to make sure it's all the way on cold. Turn the fan on full blast. Take our little infrared thermometer here. Point it right at the vent. And it's kind of a warm night here in Florida. We're looking at about 88 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And in case you're wondering, that's about 31.5 degrees Celsius. And we're going to set the AC to max AC. We're going to make sure this is all the way closed and this is all the way open. Now something really important to note before you start filling up the system, you want to have your low side closed, this tap down, and what you want to do is come in here, this is a little purge valve, unscrew the cap, and so the air from this line doesn't go straight into your system, you're just going to push this down, and it's going to let the air out. So you're only pushing Freon in your system and no air. Now you don't want to open this full throttle because if you let it in too quick, it could damage the compressor. You can see it slowly running in here through this little peak window, and when you see it slow down, what you can do is you can take your can, turn it upside down, and you can see it running through again. And you can see the compressor just kicked on right there. That means it's reading that there's enough pressure in the system for the compressor to kick on, and that's why we have that drop on the low pressure side and that raise on the high pressure side. Our can looks just about empty, so we're about to fill up here with the second one. You can also tell by looking here through this peak window, there's nothing going on there. So we're going to close this first and foremost. We're going to screw in our new can, and then we're going to open the can up. And again, be sure not to just dump it in there. Now we're going to put that down and we're going to wait a few minutes again. Now the compressor's on, it'll suck it in a lot faster. And again, once it looks like there's not much going on in your little peak window, you can turn it upside down and screw it in the rest of the way. You can see the rest flowing through now. Now again, it looks like this one's spent, so we're going to tighten this back up. And that's also going to keep it so the Freon doesn't just rush out of this yellow tube and come here through this. Now with our last can of Freon, we're going to take our AC tap, make sure it is up. It's not coming down to pierce the cap. We're going to screw it on in. We're going to turn our scale on, make sure it is set to ounces, which it is. We're going to put this on, and it looks like now we're at 1 pound and 4 ounces, so we're going to put this down to around 1 pound. Open this nice and slow. I'm going to pick it up and turn it a little bit to get it to go a little bit faster. And it looks like we're within 1 ounce, so I'm going to take this off and close up this line. What we're going to do with this is we're going to unscrew this so it's not piercing the can anymore. And then we're going to untwist our last can. Now going back into the vehicle, we got the same settings. We got it on full blast, max AC, all the way on cold. We're going to see how cold it gets now. A nice 45 to 50 degrees, that's perfect. And for you guys not in America, it looks like it's about 7.8 degrees Celsius. And as always, be sure to hit the little thumbs up button here under the video. It really helps me out more than you guys know. And also definitely consider subscribing. I got some pretty cool videos here up on the screen that you guys will probably like. So definitely check my channel out and see if it's something for you. Until then, have a good one, guys.